good afternoon, everyone. So after all of these knowledgeable sessions, here's another, informative session on how to use artificial intelligence to improve a lot of facilities. So I'm Arush from Agrex, and what we do is we help make facilities smart using video analytics, which are artificially enabled. So when I say facilities, this could mean anything which is a brick and mortar business. And of course, the primary object of this is retail, and we started with retail. But there are other areas like logistics, banking, kitchens, QSRs, manufacturing, that we're enabling our AI to improve the facilities. So before I talk about how we're doing that and what the technicalities are, let me first tell you about some of the challenges that a lot of retailers and other businesses are facing. And these are all feedback from our clients. So the primary information, there's an information asymmetry between online businesses and offline businesses, right? So a few years ago, you could have said that there's a war going on between e-commerce and physical retail. But since then, both have adopted, and primary offline businesses have moved to online omnichannel, and vice versa phenomenon has also happened. But still, the challenge remains that there's a lot of data that is available when you're on an e-commerce website, right? Who the customer is, how are they behaving on your store, on your online store, and such and such. But there's no such information here. So the only time a retail store comes to know that there is even a customer is when he first makes a purchase in a retail store. Before that, from a data perspective, you don't know what's happening inside the store, right? So simultaneously, a lot of decision making when it comes to the store is happening based on intuitive understanding rather than real data. And if you consider the primary costs of a retail store, which is real estate and workforce, they're essentially based on intuition, experience, and now there's some kind of data that is being analyzed on how actually the store is being utilized. And even after that, there are some analytics being done. Either they're very basic or they're primarily being done manually, which leads to high costs, and they're not very scalable. And then lastly, there is a hit on the revenue due to either loss or missed opportunities, which is again a big challenge for a lot of the retailers. So these are some of the feedback we've received from our clients. And again, retail being the most prominent one, but similar challenges are faced by hospitality industry, logistics, and even banking. So coming to the solution, what we essentially do is we give eyes to the store, right? We give eyes to the facility. How we do that is by utilizing existing CCTV cameras that are currently being used only for surveillance. So if any incident happens, you go back, see the footage, analyze it, and then you take a decision based on that. So we shift that to a more proactive approach where the CCTVs are responsible for collecting the data and they act as eyes for your store. So you get an eagle's eye view of what is happening across, at a national level, across, say, 1,000 stores if a brand has, and down to the single store. Now, some of the more specific things are who the customer is and how are they behaving inside the store. So like I said before, the primary data point that a lot of retailers have is only sales, but that's only half the picture, right? Sales only happens when the customer is already converted. But typically, depending on the industry, only 10 to 50% of the customers actually convert. And this can be due to multiple reasons, and we collect this data to help identify those reasons in order to convert more data, which is the primary KPI for most retailers, I'm sure you would agree, to increase the conversions. And everything else is just optimization on that. So we help collect data on the visitors. Who are they? Where are they coming from? What are they doing inside the store? And then the second part of the picture is how is your store actually operating? Retailers set a lot of SOPs that should happen in the store, but a lot of times those SOPs are not complied with, which is why a lot of people have visual merchandising teams, they have compliance teams, flying teams who just go to the store and see if all the processes are being complied with. But that may be even 1% of the time the store is actually open. And the eyes are open 24/7, of course. And then we also help the stores essentially prevent shrinkage, prevent stealing, be it visitor-related stealing or be it staff-related security issue, and ensure that the store is actually safe for everyone who's actually involved. And what this basically does is automate a lot of your decision-making, a lot of monitoring tasks which are being, which are happening manually. They happen through AI and they happen automatically. So if you have, for example, a guard sitting behind a CCTV camera and monitoring a lot of stuff, he might go for a tea break, he might go to the washroom, but the AI doesn't take a break, and the AI runs 24/7, right? So, and then there is a lot of, it is hard to define the ROI, it is hard to determine what the ROI is in terms of a lot of, say, marketing decisions, right? When you take a marketing decision for an offline store, you might run advertisements in newspapers, you might do it online, but you don't see the direct impact of how that specific channel has impacted, for example, one KPI, which is the store walk-ins. So you can actually A/B test with our platform which marketing channel is working the best, and invest more in that, or change up something in a channel that isn't working. Right. Some of our brands, retail and non-retail, both have saved quite a lot on manpower by removing a lot of manual verification which is involved. This can also be extended to manufacturing. A lot of retailers do their own manufacturing or subcontract the manufacturing as well. So this removes a lot of the supervisory and security costs associated with making sure that the SOPs are complied with and the quality is up to the mark. And again, we've improved the compliance while reducing the costs associated with it. Another great example of video analytics is you can identify a lot of bottlenecks which are happening inside the store, be it staff related, be it layout related, and identify those bottlenecks, and then the decision can happen on how to reduce those bottlenecks. Currently, what we're doing is we're collecting a lot of data on how the stores are being operated, but I'm sure a lot of you will agree that there's a lot of data that you already have, but not all of that data is being utilized to do the decision making. So what we also do is help with the decision making. We're making automated decision making systems which automatically analyze the data and recommend to whoever is logged into our platform, be it the operations team or marketing team or the security team, on what to change to improve those KPIs. And of course, that is a case-by-case tasks. A lot of retailers might have different priorities. We work with most of those priorities, right? And then there's integrations inbuilt with already existing systems like sales data, so you can actually, instead of manually identifying which KPIs are improving, which are not, you can actually use our platform to do that. Now, coming to a more technical aspect of it, how it works is basically we analyze the video footage that is coming from the CCTVs, and these are in 90% of the cases, these are existing CCTVs, but sometimes we might need to install more. We analyze the footage either on the cloud or on the premise, depending on the security protocols and the security sensitivity of the brand. On-premise installation actually processes the videos in the store so that no video leaves your store, and there's a cloud-based platform, as you can see on the right here, that you can get all the data from. And this can be integrated into the already existing systems that the clients might have. So there are two methodologies, so to speak, on the cloud, which all the video is being streamed to the cloud, and there's on-premise. The difference is only of, say, cost rather than performance. Both of these are equivalent in their performance. And you might want to take a photo of these, and we have all of this presentation on our website as well. These are some of the use cases that we're already handling for a lot of customers. And like I mentioned before, this can start with who the customer is, how they're behaving inside the store. Is the store itself equipped to handle all the customers and whatever they're doing? And is the store safe and secure for the customers, and as well as for the staff to prevent shrinkages? So one of the most popular use cases that we have is counting and heat maps. So and this is being collected since time immemorial. You know, how many walk-ins did you get? But most of the times we've noticed that the data is either inaccurate, incomplete, and it is only manually integrated with the sales data. So we do a deep integration with all of the sales, the POS systems to generate a lot more metrics, and along with those metrics is the automated advice on how to improve that, right? And then there comes heat maps, which basically tell you which areas of the store are more popular, which are not. Some things might be popular because of the product itself, but some might be popular because of the way store layout is being done, right? And this can be A/B tested. For example, you do one layout for a month, analyze the heat map, you do another layout for another month, and then analyze the heat map again. This might lead to small changes in sales, but what you'll generally notice is that you are able to figure out which products are working the most, basically, right? Which products have the most seen to buy ratio. Right now, you only have the buy numbers, but you don't have the numbers on how many people actually see those, right? If you get more eyeballs on the product, it might lead to more sales, but it might not. So all those things can be monitored. And then there's a lot of compliance monitoring. So essentially what we handle, we are capable of handling the complete life cycle of a brand, from ensuring compliance during the manufacturing phase. Are there any defects in your, for example, cloth? Are there any defects in any show pieces that you're making, any stationery, and whatnot? Any part that is rolling off the assembly line, is it compliant with the quality standards that you've set or not? And all of these is happening through either existing CCTV cameras, or sometimes we install our own smart cameras, right? So from manufacturing to then logistics, handling, warehousing, loading, unloading on trucks, and then once it comes into a store, is it being displayed properly? Are the staff handling the stuff properly? Are the staff themselves wearing, for example, the uniforms standards that you've actually set? Right? And the most basic product we have is the CCTV health monitoring. In most cases, what we've noticed is a lot of stores don't even have the cameras functional, which is the most basic thing that everyone should ensure, because if some incident were to happen, in a lot of cases, we've noticed that the camera wasn't even functioning at that point of time, or it was deliberately made non-functional. So both of these cases are handled by our CCTV health monitoring system, which ensures that your CCTVs are at least functional, and every analytics runs on top of that. Right? Some of the use cases, these are logistics use cases, so I'll skip over these. But what I want to share with you is one of our largest and most marquee customers, which is Bata. And we're present in quite a lot of their stores across India, Tier 1, Tier 2, Tier 3 cities as well. And we're working very closely with the team to understand how they actually use our data. And it's basically a collaboration between us to make sure that whatever decision making they're doing, it is based on the complete data that is available from the stores. So the first optimization they were able to do was the running of marketing campaigns. Which channels did they use? Was it newspapers? It was online? It was physical exhibitions. Where are they getting most of their customers from? There are 20, 25 channels, and they have a metric of which channel is actually working the most. And then another thing we were able to do to improve essentially the revenue is the timing, quantum, and location of the discounts. So right now, it is earlier it used to be part intuitive and part data-driven on how much discount to give, on which product to give it, and when to give it, and at which stores to give it, right? So with our platform and the A/B testing we've done over the course of, say, 1 year, they've been able to optimize it, and there is a significant uptick in the revenue based on their own metric, what they were able to get from these discounts before they enabled the store with the AI. And then there's the layout part. Of course, changing the layout is hard to do. But once you go through the pain of changing the store layout based on the data that you get from this AI, they are also able to get some significant results, significant improvement in customer experience, significant improvement in the feedback that the customers give on how they actually like the store, customer experience, if you will, right? And then they're also using this data to understand what kind of products to launch more. Recently, while we were already in their stores, they've launched a new sneaker brand, right? And part of that, which products and where to keep them, part of that data came from our platform, and they're able to, really understand what the customer is actually wanting based on how much time are they spending in different sections, be it women footwear, products focused towards the young generation and whatnot, right? So I'll skip over these, some technicalities. These are essentially, we have a web-based dashboard that the customer can use to identify what is actually going on in the stores. We have a lot of the compliance-based alerts, so anything that goes wrong in a store, immediately alerts can come to your platform via, we have a mobile app as well. We have different channels through which we can alert: WhatsApp, Telegram, customized ERP solutions and whatnot, right? So essentially, I'm happy to say that we're one of the leading video analytics companies in India. And why our customers are choosing us is because of reliability and the fact that we work with, in most cases, existing infrastructure. So to give you an example, if, for example, a store tells us that, okay, here's 100 stores, we need to enable them, each store can be done in less than half an hour based on the checklist that we give you. So if that checklist is fulfilled, which is a very basic checklist, the store can be enabled within half an hour, right? So even doing a trial is quite painless, unlike a lot of other people that are there that require hardware to be changed, security policies to be tampered with. So yeah. So these are some of the industries that we're working with. You might want to take a photo of this as well. Essentially, any industry that has a physical presence as a brick and mortar facility, we are working with them, and including some border monitoring for defense forces as well. Thank you so much. This is my time, and I'm happy to take any questions. And last note, I see there are some students here. So these are my contact details, and we're hiring as well across different roles. So feel free to reach out. And I'm happy to take any questions now.
Hi, Arush. Great presentation. It's a beautiful product.
Thank you.
Just want to understand. I have two questions, but one of them I'll take with you one-on-one.
Sure.
You talked about identifying customers within the store. Are you able to identify maybe ethnicity, age? What are we able to identify on the customer? Or are we able to actually identify the individual that enters a store? If the individual has entered that store before, would the AI be able to recognize that individual and map that particular individual to the sales data attached to that individual?
Short answer, yes to all of those. Ethnicity, we have the capability, but we're not doing because of political correctness issues involved with it. But sure, we have that capability. For most cases, we're identifying a general demographic of the customer, which means age and gender. We also have a face recognition product. So essentially, anyone who walks in, there are two levels of anonymity. So we can tell you that, okay, this person, X person, has walked in at such and such time before at, say, your Delhi store, and now he's in your Mumbai store, for example, right? So we're able to say that. And then there is the lower level of anonymity where we can say that, okay, this is Mr. John Doe, and according to your POS systems, this is the products that he's bought before, and these are the products it might be interested in. And a message of a sort or a notification can go to a store manager's app to attend to a customer. So this can be used for VIP recognition or something like that. The precondition being we should already have some data associated with that customer, for example, a profile picture or something like that, that is already present with your in your system. It can be a selfie, it can be a passport size picture, whatever it might be.
Thank you very much.